guys, to our new episode. Are you excited?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think so.
Definitely excited.
Do you have any hunch of which case I'm gonna present now?
No idea. Is it solved?
You hinted it on Tuesday.
Oh yeah, there was something.
It was upon request. I have prepared something.
Request by
then I know.
an audience.
You know?
I think.
What do you think, Greta?
I think. Is it? Wait, which one did they say that they want?
It was not.
Is it the?
It is.
Oh, freak right. We talked about. Oh yeah. Oh, it's exciting.
It is the OJ Simpson case. So you may
Nice.
open your case files now.
Oh my god.
This mystery unsolved
Whoa.
episode will be covering the double murder involving OJ Simpson and all the not very much mysteries, but all the strange stuff around it.
Okay. It's because it's very obvious what happened. You.
It's quite interesting.
Okay, I like that.
But it has a very interesting outcome, so we'll get to that. First off, do you want to share anything that you already know about OJ Simpson?
Do you know?
I only know
What
that
do you already know?
I know
If you're hungry,
nothing actually. I only
for
know
nothing.
that like I just heard so many jokes on it on like SNL or something. Like they made these bit controversial jokes. And does he play tennis or is that like some kind of totally random thing that I?
I'm not aware that he plays.
Okay, I don't know.
tennis.
That's all I know.
He's
Like
like
he's
a
dead.
yeah. He was a famous American football player
Oh, I think that's right.
and an
Wow.
actor.
I'm really not well informed.
Maybe he did. You know, he could have played tennis in his lifetime.
Maybe once, and I know about that.
I know a bit.
You know
about it.
everything?
No. I don't think I know everything, but I know a lot about the OJ Simpson case.
Tell us.
I've seen a few like videos about it, and I've read because the videos were so controversial. I was like, oh, is this true? And then I had a little bit of a deep dive into it, but I don't remember it because it was a few years ago.
Okay, luckily, so I can like.
There are a few
refresh.
things that I remember from the trial that was very interesting. The one interesting fact that I know, and then probably you will like make it like it's a funny joke. That do you know who O.J. Simpson's lawyer was?
No.
He had many lawyers on that case.
Oh, but wasn't the lawyer Kim Kardashian the Kardashians' father? The
Really?
one who died? Was he not wasn't he the lawyer?
I have to check because he had like 8 lawyers.
Oh my god.
Or maybe it wasn't his lawyer, but it was his I don't know.
The Kardashian family patriarch always stood by Simpson's side, going on to act as his defense attorney.
Yeah.
That's.
Oh, I didn't know.
I
that either.
have seen scenes of him, and it occurred to me. I kind of noticed how dramatic he was and everything. He literally said, "How about that?"
It's so American law.
He was like very expressive.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one fun fact that I remember that he was a part of it.
Ooh, so without further ado, let's dive in. This was a double murder, and it was Ronald L. Goldman and Nicole Brentwood were the ones who were murdered. We'll start at the incident itself. So on June 13th, 1994, at 12:10 a.m., p.m. actually, Nicole Brentwood and Ronald L. Goldman were found stabbed to death at Nicole's townhouse.
Oh.
How were they discovered, you might ask? Well, so a neighbor was just going on his morning stroll, and then the dog, Nicole's dog, came barking and led them right to the crime scene.
Ooh.
And everything was just... It was a graphic crime scene because neighbors, trigger warning, could see blood coming out onto the sidewalk, and blood was just everywhere.
God.
And later it was also found out that the neighbors had apparently heard the dog incessantly barking around the time of the murders.
Oh.
Yeah.
The dog couldn't protect the...
Oh, I believe
don't
it was
know.
quite a small
Oh,
dog.
okay then. Okay. Could have tried.
Oh my gosh.
Little chihuahua.
Yeah. that's gonna be difficult to
Yeah.
to protect
They're
your
quite
owners.
aggressive.
But what was interesting was that the houses near Nicole's home, like they were all separate houses, so there were no shared walls, but they were quite close to each other. So if they even heard the dog barking, you would have expected that they also heard any other noises, but they apparently did not. There were some incidents before that which kind of suggested some involvement by OJ Simpson. So the first one was in 1989 when a neighbor was just walking on the street in the neighborhood when all of a sudden a woman came out of the bushes. She was very distraught and she was only dressed in the sweatpants and a bra.
Ooh.
Turned out that was Nicole Brentwood and she started yelling, "He's gonna kill me, he's gonna kill me." So that was quite,
Yeah,
that's
indicating something there.
Yeah.
Oh God.
OG.
DB and OG.
Well, but OJ was found guilty for spousal abuse after that incident, and he did not admit to being guilty. Neither did he admit to not being guilty, and he accepted the charges. But then, 1993, there was another chilling phone call to 911, one from Nicole. And she said, "My husband just broke into my house and he's ranting and raging." So OJ did not really seem stable.
Oh God.
Wait. OJ just broke into my house?
Mind you, at that time they were already divorced.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe they were divorced around a year or two before the murder. But yeah, there were several incidents because his sister also told prosecutors that she had seen Simpson beat Nicole once, like throwing her against a wall.
Jesus.
So he was violent.
Confirmed. So let's get down to the fateful day before the actual murder. It starts actually on the day of my birthday, June 12th, 1994, when Nicole and her children and others arrived at a restaurant called Mezzaluna at 6:30 p.m. So they were just going out, nice to have a dinner. Yeah, they were just having a good time. And around 9:15 p.m., Nicole's sister called the restaurant because her mother had left her glasses there. And then around that same time, Ronald Goldman, a friend of Nicole's, they were rumored to have some romantic involvement, but they denied it. But he went to pick up those glasses. Around that time, between 9 and 9:30 p.m., Brian Cato Kalin and OJ Simpson went to McDonald's.
That's not good
Fancy.
PR for
So
McDonald's.
fancy.
They did get a lot of coverage, McDonald's, but maybe not positive
They always
coverage.
get it. Yeah, well, there's a case that happened now in America. That was also a McDonald's thing.
Really?
damn.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
McDonald's is really involved in a lot of
Yeah.
crime cases. then.
Everybody either goes there before or after.
Oh wow.
Oh my gosh. It's just like
Perfect for every occasion.
yeah, I guess so. Not so happy anymore now. Having a happy meal before you like that's
Decapitate them.
wild. That's wild.
Yeah.
But then at 9:45 p.m. they returned home from McDonald's and Brian Cato Kalin,
Yeah.
he is the blonde, long-haired guy.
Ooh. Kinda good
He
looking. This guy.
Oh.
Kato.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Sexy.
Well, I wonder if you'll still find him sexy after.
I will.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Louisa.
Louisa, problematic. No.
You always
Yeah.
have like the save the bad people mentality.
They're hot. I'll see. I'm intrigued.
So at 9:45 until 10 to 10, Ronald left the restaurant Mezzaluna with the glasses he had picked up. At 10:15, Nicole's neighbor heard the dog barking and crying. And as you might have guessed, later this was theorized that the dog was obviously barking at his owner being brutally murdered. Going back to OJ Simpson's timeline, at around 10:30, Alan Park, a limo driver, arrived at OJ's home because OJ had a flight that night from LA to Chicago. scheduled at 11:45. At 10:40 p.m., Kato, so the guy, he was staying in OJ's guest house.
Mm-hmm.
He heard 3 loud thumps on the outside wall. Then, around that same time, the limo driver rang OJ's doorbell several times, but without answer. And then, just before 11 p.m., he sees a shadowy figure coming up to the house. He described him as 6 feet tall and 200 pounds.
Does that fit OJ Simpson by any chance?
It's a very specific description for a shadowy figure.
Yeah, but I mean, you have.
He was just like sneaking
Yeah.
up, like swiper the phone.
like you could see how tall he was. That I think that's fine. And then
Insert Pink Panther noise.
I don't think he was. That would have been. Yeah, that would have been silly. But I think he was he just like walking like we don't know how he walked, right?
No, that was not
Probably
described.
not.
But
Doing it
after he saw that shadowy figure, he decided to ring the doorbell again,
Mhm.
just a tiny bit after that. And that time, OJ answers.
Whoa,
And
what a
he's like,
surprise!
Oh, I overslept and I just got out of the shower, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sure.
then, sure. And then at 11:45, OJ leaves on his scheduled flight to Chicago.
Damn, how did he even catch that flight?
I wondered about that as well.
Yeah, 'cause,
Maybe
like-
the airport was just close.
Yeah.
But so he went, he's gone, he's out of LA.
It's probably with a private jet.
But
True.
it was scheduled, or like those also have to be
I
scheduled.
think they do.
Because in the movies you just hop on. And
Well, yeah.
yeah, those probably also have to be scheduled. You're
I
right.
think.
Yeah, he probably has a private jet.
I think, but who knows?
Yeah, but also he's famous, so maybe even if it wasn't a private jet,
it's OJ.
he was like, yeah, it's OJ. Let's wait for him after his cute murder.
It's cute murder. Ain't no cute murder, that is.
Oh, that's.
What I personally was also wondering, because Nicole did have her kids at that time.
Oh yeah.
So I wondered, how did they not...
Wait, were the kids there?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
They were sound asleep upstairs
Oh, how
when
old
Nicole
were they?
and Ronald were brutally stabbed to death.
Jesus Christ.
What?
They were like small children, or
Yeah.
and they are
5 and 8.
5 and 8 also
Oh,
too,
no.
and they're both from OJ. Like they are children, like OJ Simpson's and Nicole's children.
Yeah. They were.
Oh wow.
No.
They are.
Oh no.
Poor children. Jesus
Um,
Christ.
I really... I hope they were asleep, because if they heard anything, that must have been terrifying.
I mean, it's it's
But then it's
traumatic
quite
anyways.
obvious that they went to kill those two people and not the kids.
Mm.
If you think
Yeah.
about it, because they were left alive.
Yeah. What's?
But then it's obvious that
That-
somebody went to directly kill
Oh, yeah.
them, so it wasn't.
and not just for like
Yes.
loot, like
Looting.
looting OJ Simpson, or not OJ, because they don't live at this. Wait,
No, they're
they're divorced. They live in a different place. And
This is also interesting.
Mhm.
Their residences are only 6 minutes away from each other.
Very good, very convenient.
Very convenient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can actually also see the crime case on the second page.
Yeah, I saw the.
Very bloody. It was like a sidewalk, and
Jesus.
you can see.
But how did that? What?
That's also interesting because the next morning, obviously,
Mhm.
detectives arrived and they were obviously analyzing the scene, and there were bloody footprints. Like, well, no, there was blood, a blood trail from Nicole's house to OJ Simpson's house.
Really?
Wait, what?
They're not really like a trail, but blood.
But some. Oh my god, that's so like. Bro did not care about his footprint.
Yeah. So that was quite interesting. Yeah. Then that on June 14th, 1994, one of the detectives called Ron Phillip, he called OJ and he informs him that his wife has died. How do you think OJ responds?
Oh no. No.
It's worse.
Yes.
Yes, let's go. I did it. Yeah, I just killed her.
Oh, I think I remember. Wasn't it something about murder? Like, did he like say, "Oh, I didn't kill her" or something like that?
What he said was, who killed her?
Oh yeah.
yeah, just assuming that.
Not.
What happened to her?
Yeah, you know.
Oh my god,
Who killed her?
who killed her? Because he was.
Wasn't fucking me.
Yeah.
definitely not.
He
me,
just
but-
wanted to make sure they weren't already suspecting him or something.
Oh my god, is he stupid or is this some kind of?
He's just American.
He's
Sorry.
American.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
But after that, he was questioned by the LAPD
Yeah.
for
good
for
job.
3 hours, and he
Ooh.
also had a cut on his finger, which
Like one small cut.
yeah, could have
Okay.
been anything.
Yeah, like that's not.
But-
But okay.
I wanted to mention it still.
Thank you. I also have a cut on my finger. Does that mean
Oh my
anything?
god, are you a murderer? Oh my god.
I murdered.
Did you time travel?
Oh,
Were you
yeah.
there?
I was OJ Simpson.
You were the figure.
6 feet, 200 pounds.
Wow.
I wish I was 6 feet.
Are you saying you want to be OJ Simpson right now?
No.
Hey, what-
I'm good, thanks.
You want to be a tennis player, dude?
Yeah, apparently not a football player. After Challengers, I want to be a tennis player.
Oh,
You
I
guys
get
have
that.
seen Challengers?
No.
Oh,
I want.
It's not a
or
good
maybe
want
the
to.
audience knows.
It's not a good movie.
It is good.
One of my friends has it as her favorite movies
It's
on
a
Letterboxd.
really good
It's-
movie.
But what is good about it? They're just
Sexy.
you're just into these
Okay,
stuff,
sorry.
I
No,
think.
actually, I like the cinematography,
Oh, nice.
and I like some really good. Like there are some really good edits of it. I think on
Well,
TikTok.
of course, edits.
Yeah,
are like,
but they are like
oh, let's make out.
no.
more.
It's like they are artistic edits. Like
Yeah, but the movie is not good.
I think the movie is
Artistic
fine. I
edits-
would give it like a
artistic
3.5.
edits doesn't mean that a movie is good.
Okay, the cinematography is good.
Yeah,
The plot,
cinematography- yeah.
the plot
But
is.
they're beautiful people playing in there, so of
That
course
always
it's also
helps.
like, oh, like
I think the
let's
dialogues are
romanticize the
nice.
movie as well because they're pretty people,
Okay, well,
pretty privileged.
Nicole was
yeah,
like
always.
Nicole was so pretty as well. It's
Yeah,
like,
that was the
Yeah.
first thing I saw as always.
Yeah,
you-
this photo is really nice.
it's
Yeah.
insane.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
They were all kind of
And then OJ Simpson is just
moderates.
there.
Yeah. OJ Simpson.
sorry, no,
This
he
looks
just
like an
there.
egg.
My problem with him is that he kind of looks nice here. Like he has a.
Oh, he looks like an egg.
Okay. Also, I guess, yeah.
No, he looks like the egg from what is it
No,
called?
from the cat. A
I mean,
bit,
he looks
yeah.
Like, he looks like a colored
100%.
version of it.
Anyway, he looks
Skin
nice.
tone.
Yeah, he looks like he has kind eyes, and that really sets. Like, it's a very unsettling.
Do you
I would
think
say.
he has? I feel like on this picture, his eyes are kind of distant.
Distant? Mm-hmm.
He has a distant expression somehow.
Yeah, I think
feel
he's
like-
looking at a different camera in the back.
No, I still feel like he's kind of. He's already plotting it.
yeah.
Do you know who looks very hot? No, I'm joking.
Who?
Ronald?
Ronald.
Ronald
Al
looks alright,
Goldman.
yeah.
He looks like Cristiano Ronaldo. In
Not at all.
No.
Okay, say
No,
it.
but as in like
If he was
you
a-
look at if it was in the 90s,
Oh, okay.
you would see like, oh, he gives off that soccer player vibe that like
Okay.
very cool. I'm superior.
Oh my god, she's mugging right here next to me. Yeah. He also
Viewing
looks like
to the
John
max.
Travolta a bit. John Travolta, you know.
Oh, true.
Right.
You think so?
Yeah. I think the
That's
hair.
why she was like.
I think it's only the hair.
It's probably the hair.
We're so focused on like
looks. We're so.
just analyzing the people.
Yes, for
They have to be analyzed. You know?
That's true. Looks do matter in these situations. Like expressions.
like
and-
OJ and the egg.
yeah, that's very
Oh my
important.
gosh.
Oh, poor him. Now I can't unsee it.
Should I just refer to him as the egg right now?
No,
You
I'm
can.
joking.
Okay, so the egg was charged with 2 counts of murder.
So they didn't find his 3-hour-long interrogation. So he couldn't.
Like he didn't even try to defend himself.
It's
That
like,
one.
oh, shit.
So wait, he was questioned on the 14th and 3 days later charged.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Easy.
the police were convinced that it was him.
He
Mhm.
was the prime suspect.
Was
for
there any
obvious
other
reasons.
suspects actually? Were there
Yeah.
sus-
So if you go to one
Oh,
of
geez,
the
twin
last pages. Yeah.
yeah.
OJ's son was actually one of the, but this was more of a conspiracy theory
Oh, okay.
by a private detective.
Oh, he was charged on my birthday.
Really?
You guys are
Yeah, June
very
17th.
connected to this.
Oh my gosh.
1994.
It's crazy
It's-
how
it's
both
tar-
our birthdays
Yeah.
are like, my
5
birthday
days
is the
apart.
murder and yours
Is mine
like
in there?
the-
No, it's not. Okay. But that's very nice for you guys. I'm so happy for you.
Wow, I feel so happy. now.
Honored, right?
But OJ Simpson's son
Yes.
was one of the other suspects. He had a private investigator called Bill Deere, and he actually wrote a book. And some of the highlights of that book are that Jason Simpson, so that's the name of the son, was on probation after having attacked his former boss with a knife.
Whoa.
Oh.
And he also attacked a former girlfriend in the same way. And another girlfriend also vouched that he kind of had some aggressive issues.
How old was he?
Amazing.
He
Something
was
else to
24 at the time of the
okay.
murders.
Amazing.
But what's kind of crazy as well, so this private investigator, Bill Deere, he dresses up as a doctor and goes undercover in a hospital in order to retrieve Jason's medical records. So he's just playing dress up right now.
Is that? But I mean, if he's a detective,
Illegally.
You can, I mean,
Why would
when is it legal? When is it legal? When can you do when you can go undercover
if
legally,
you have
right?
permission
Yeah,
to take it, then
He
it
did
is
not have
legal
permission.
to take it. That's why he
Okay.
dressed up and did it illegally, but that's just weird.
He did not have permission. So he pretended to be a
no.
doctor for 2 weeks. And he actually acquired the medical records.
Excellent job.
And there he found that Jason
How did
was...
nobody notice?
He was so good. He was
I
so good
guess.
being undercover.
Yeah, he was just...
That's so
or
funny.
maybe people were
actually.
just... I mean, doctors are quite busy, you know?
Yeah, and they're just like,
But still...
I'll just sneak.
Hi, I'm an
I'll
intern
just-
here. Can I get access to
An
the
old guy.
private records?
You don't have to look here. I'll just
I'll
Yeah, I'll do it.
I just need some records right here. But Jason was found. He found that Jason was diagnosed with intermittent rage disorder.
got it from his dad.
That's what he was. That was what it said. And around.
what is that? I don't think that's an actual disorder. That's an actual disorder.
Well,
I get
you
angry
are-
sometimes.
He was the doctor.
Oh my gosh.
Intermittent rage disorder.
Hulk.
I get. Yeah. Honestly, that does kind of seem like. But I guess he was just occasionally really
Okay,
raging.
I'll
raging a lot.
believe it because I mean, if depression exists, which is
He
like
went
being
from
sad,
one to another, like
Basically, just like
bipolar.
extreme
Oh, that's
mood
true.
shifts.
Okay, bipolar. Okay,
So he made the name up.
rage. He didn't know the word back then. Okay, so he was very angry. Okay.
Yeah, but around the time of the murders, Jason had stopped taking the prescribed
Why?
antipsychotic drugs.
Because he was pretending to be the doctor. That was after.
Oh
And
no.
around the same time, Jason had told doctors, quote unquote, who's going to rage.
Oh. I'm gonna Hulk out. But that is suspicious.
Watch out! I'm gonna and he starts to turn green with his face.
But his
He made it
alibi.
up. Like the rage disorder. I genuinely.
I will
don't.
look it up. I would look up if that's an actual thing.
Well, he wasn't private investigator, you know, but he was just a bit weird playing dress up and stuff.
Yeah, cute.
But Jason did have an alibi, and that
Mhm.
was that he was working at a restaurant that night.
Oh.
Wait.
But it was very easy for him to manipulate his stamp card because he had it handwritten, even though there was a automized way of stamping the card. He had a handwritten card. So
Again, interesting. But
very easily, could have been very easily
so he works at a
manipulated.
restaurant.
Yeah, he worked at a restaurant.
Is he also 6 foot?
6 foot, 200 pounds by any chance.
Honestly,
He may be.
Maybe he
could-
was the.
If you look at the picture, I feel like they would have kind of the same
What if he framed his father?
physique.
That would be insane. Maybe,
That's
and
why
that's
you
why.
would-
Yeah, and it was so obvious.
He knew when his dad would shower.
He
Oh yeah.
was.
Oh yeah. Oh. Why
I-
do they always look like quite nice people? Or like I'm just so
Eggs.
easily the 2 eggs. Actually, he looks more like an egg. Or does?
He was 6'4".
Oh, he was taller than OJ.
So he had
Jesus.
to bend down.
Yeah, he was like
Crouch.
like.
Oh my god. So OJ Simpson is 1 meter 85, so that's smaller than 6'4".
Oh yeah.
6'4" is
So very tall.
195.
Whoa. He got the genes.
Crazy.
Damn. Okay.
So that was
Wow.
one of the other suspects. And an additional suspect was Glenn Rogers, a serial killer.
Oh.
His brother, Glenn Rogers' brother, had said that while on death row, Glenn confessed to murdering Nicole and Ronald. But Glenn had reportedly been hired by OJ to steal a pair of Nicole's earrings, but was told to kill her if she got in the way, which I think is just so weird. Why do you need Nicole's earrings, and why would you kill her if she gets in the way?
Oh my god.
What?
Look at the photo, please. It looks the OJ son and OJ Simpson. It looks like OJ has nails.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at as
Oh,
well.
no,
I
wait,
thought,
Because you
That-
cut
who's
the-
that?
Yeah, that's
Nicole?
his daughter.
Oh yeah, he had a daughter.
No,
as well.
it just looks very weird in the photo. You can
does
insert
look
it
very funny.
when you
Oh, for sure.
edit it.
It's
but
just fruity like that.
yeah.
Maybe a secretive fairy.
But OJ Simpson then actually I just realized so he had kids from Nicole, but he
And
also had kids
he
from
had a first wife.
yes.
So Nicole was his
from-
second wife.
yeah,
So
so from,
probably again an age difference.
Do you want to know the
couple.
difference? Age difference from
Oh no,
Nicole
we're getting
and-
into it again. No.
You want to know
It's
how they
always-
met? You want to know how they
high
met?
school some or like a match for
High
the
school
I don't know.
teacher with high school student.
Pretty almost, yeah.
No.
So Nicole was a high school student, and she was waitressing at a nightclub in Beverly Hills,
Fuck.
California.
Mhm.
So they began dating while Simpson was still married to his first wife, who was also pregnant at the time.
Men.
So,
Oh my God.
Why would you date someone who's married and has a kid on the way?
but she
also, yeah,
actually
the
also
girl-
actively, Nicole, would drive by the house they were living in to see if his car was there.
No, she's
And she
giving
would
Hailey
she would
Bieber.
call she would call OJ and say that she was the secretary, his secretary, so that his
So she
wife
was
would
also
not.
cray
and then
cray.
they talk. Yeah, they.
Yeah, quite.
That's
because-
good to know.
She was 18 and OJ
No.
was
30.
he was 30 at the time.
Oh no.
Ooh.
That she dated him while
it was
OJ
almo-
was actually still married and his wife was pregnant.
That is insane.
That also makes Nicole kind of
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like she wasn't saying either. Then, if she went into that and be like, oh, yeah, let's have fun.
she was more sane than OJ Simpson probably, but
Yeah, she
know.
didn't murder him, so that's something. But two crazy people found each other, basically.
yeah. But back to the serial killer.
Yep.
He claimed that he had been hired by OJ to steal Nicole's earrings and was told to kill her if she got in the way. However, Glenn might have served a 6-week jail sentence at the time of the murder, so he could have just lied.
Ah,
As you
No.
know, some people that are in jail are kind of famous to just lie
That's
about.
yeah.
famous.
I did it.
They were just like, it was me.
yeah.
I did it. Just
Yeah.
take the credit.
They
Yeah,
do that
just
all the
sort of-
time, and it doesn't make sense. They're just I don't
Just
know.
for the
It
credits
doesn't
to
make
get in
them,
the
like-
paper. They don't
Yeah.
have any other joy
Yeah,
in
it
their
doesn't make
lives.
them cooler.
I mean,
It
know, it
makes
makes
them
them
more
famous.
of a
notorious.
yeah.
And maybe in the jail, you're like, oh yeah, I'm the big. No, genuinely.
I know. No,
It's
I get,
status,
no, I
right?
get that, but
Yeah.
it's just stupid.
So that's. I think that's
Because
very
then-
useful in the jail. I would want to be the top one.
Yeah, but you're
What?
I
You
mean,
are-
like like I would.
Oh.
You don't want to be the one at the bottom of the pyramids of jail
you're
hierarchy. You know.
Then a third suspect, which was used in the court case, was Mark Furman. He was also a detective,
Oh.
and he claimed that he was the first who found one of the leading evidence pieces. But let's get to that later. First, we'll go back to June 17th, 1994, when OJ was charged with 2 counts of murder. So the other suspects we just discussed, they were mostly just theories. So what did OJ do? He promised to surrender, but what did he actually do?
Wait, surrender?
He was like, never surrender! Because he didn't surrender. And he was declared a fugitive when someone called 911. And he was like, I think I just saw OJ Simpson driving on the highway.
Oh.
So this resulted in a low-speed police chase.
Low speed.
Which lasted hours.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
And it was covered on live television, so everyone was tuning in.
Oh, I think I've seen like
Yeah.
references from that on Family Guy or something.
It was huge, which is also quite interesting about this entire case, because this was the first murder case that had a kind of true murder reality show, because everything was televised as it was running. And since OJ was quite famous, it was like huge.
Honestly, that was probably such a good time to be alive. Not for Nicole, because she wasn't, but for us.
Oh,
I mean, for
womp, womp, womp.
Oh, I don't know. I
It's
think that's
just funny
exciting.
that he was trying to
So
go
he's
away.
trying to, he's a fugitive, so he's trying to get away from.
It
Getting-
gets better.
Okay, tell us more.
It gets so much better. This is not the better part, but let me say that anyway. So apparently OJ was holding a gun to his own head and was forcing his friend to drive because he was said to
Ooh.
be
Oh my
suicidal.
gosh.
And
I'll kill myself. I'll kill myself.
there was a
Oh.
recorded phone call from a detective to OJ in the car in that time, and he was really like, "Oh no, I don't deserve to live."
Wow. Well, I mean,
This is not making his case better.
No.
not really, but
No.
okay.
But he wrote a suicide note, which was later found in his residence, where he professed his love for Nicole.
Of course.
All I ever did was love her. And he also professed his innocence. Yeah. So the police chase eventually ended at OJ's house. And this is what just cracks me up. Did you know what they found in the car? They found an adhesive, a fake goatee and a mustache, and his passport and a gun.
He did not make it better for himself. Dude was doing dressing up.
A fake mustache.
That's
Would that
sexy.
help though? Like a fake mustache?
No, obviously
Like-
not. He was being
How-
televised everywhere, and a lot of people knew him. He was like, do
Yeah.
you think like, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that will make you disappear.
That will
or
make
like,
me not look like myself.
Yeah, like an egg.
But then July 22nd, 1994.
A month later.
Yep, a
Wow.
month later.
Whoa.
Legal proceedings against OJ begin, and he pleads not guilty, obviously, as he also wrote in a suicide letter. And he assembled an elite team of all the famous defense lawyers at that time. I believe it was a
lot.
big it was a big team.
That's so weird. But only
So it
one can
was-
represent you in the court, right? Can't only one person be there to
Well, there was
defend you?
one lead
Okay.
lawyer.
Okay.
But they were called the legal dream team. But actually it turned out they were more of a nightmare because all of them wanted the limelight. They were like
Limelight?
spotlight.
Oh,
So they were competing to, because this was a huge case, and
you get
case, and it could have had the huge opportunity to launch their career even more. This was the most prominent team of defense lawyers on a single trial in American history till this
Wow.
day.
Oh,
Wow.
However, despite them all wanting the limelight and not really matching, they did reach consensus when they agreed upon one key strategy to defend OJ Simpson, which was racism.
whoa.
They wanted to, quote unquote, strike a chord.
I don't know how that.
Well,
Okay.
they're bringing it up. Oh, you're only
okay.
you're only arresting me, making me a suspect because I'm
Because
black.
he's okay.
Basically,
But if there's evidence against you, dude, that just
Well, they couldn't find any other.
Yeah,
I guess
so,
no other defense.
if you go to the evidence, we can discuss it, how they acted upon the racism approach. So they asked LAPD detective Mark Furman, now we're getting back to that last suspect, they asked him if he ever used the N-word because
Whoa.
Mark Furman continuously denied it. They made sure that he dug his own
Hole.
yeah. And everyone knew he was being set up except him. It was obvious that they were...
He's not a very good detective then.
No, apparently not. But he eventually a voice recording was actually retrieved from an interview he had done some time ago with a script writer, and there he used racial slurs over 40 times.
40 times.
And the jury already stopped the recording after 2 times.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
like, yeah.
That should be enough, yeah. But at that time, it was also a bit more normalized, sadly. I think, because I think in Tarantino movies, it's very often said the N-word. Of course, usually not always by black people, but I don't know. I think those are from the 90s. So, but still, it's horrible. I'm just actually I like the fact that they were already looking out for these kind of things back in the 90s.
Yeah. So there
90s,
was actually
during
an
the 90s.
event in 1992, so 2 years prior to the murder, which already kind of stirred some kind of revolution because race riots occurred due to LAPD senselessly beating a person of color, and all of those LAPD members involved were found not guilty. So that already kind of brought some tension. An additional thing Mark Furman claimed was that he was the first one who found the infamous glove with
Ooh.
blood on it. One glove was found outside of Nicole's residence, and one glove was found inside OJ's estate.
Suspicious.
It genuinely kind of looks like he wanted it to be so obvious, or I don't know,
He's like,
oh, one here and one in my place, and it's
But here's the thing: so that detective jumped over the wall of OJ Simpson's estate, and then he was the first one who found.
oh, so he could have placed it.
Yeah,
the
so
detective.
he also refused to answer the question if he planted any evidence using his right to Fifth Amendment.
He probably did.
Right
then.
to remain
I
silent.
love the Fifth Amendment because if you don't answer it, you just it's
It's
yeah.
already. He was scared to be framed.
Yeah, I think he probably, but then maybe he did plant some evidence and he wanted it to.
Because if you think about it, the evidence seems so obvious and so
A bit too
careless.
obvious. Yeah.
Especially with the footprints, if you say that they
Yeah,
found
there was
Oh, that also
footprints
like
could
all
be.
over
But
trail back to OJ's home. Wouldn't a person who didn't want to get caught be more
careful.
But what was also interesting was that in OJ's car, blood was also found. I feel like a car would be more difficult.
Yeah,
to
break it and maybe if he was just fucking
no one knows.
careless. Yeah.
But so Mark remained silent, and he was then disgraced and dismissed from the case.
Okay, interesting.
I don't know why he was dismissed, but
I mean,
you know.
maybe some money was involved in there too.
What other evidence were there?
So the most prominent ones were the gloves.
Mm-hmm.
The blood, OJ's blood was found on the glove.
Oh, jeez.
Nicole's blood was found, and Ronald's
Perfect.
blood was found. So it was
3 for
a
3.
DNA match. But the lawyers, OJ's lawyers, pledged that when the scene was analyzed, the LAPD had been kind of sloppy in gathering the evidence.
Mm-hmm.
And they argued that it was a cesspool of contamination. So they suggested a theory that would framed OJ Simpson so that the blood was planted. That was what they suggested.
Okay.
And then one of the most famous scenes was when OJ Simpson actually tried on the gloves
That
Yeah,
is
he was
in
and
the
it's
trial
perfect.
room.
I love his expression. He's like, oh,
Yeah, he was
perfect fit.
No,
It fits like a glove.
No, but he look at his hands weren't it wasn't
Oh.
rested. He was like
Oh.
making
Yeah, so
it
they
so-
were.
Oh, they
you
were.
know,
He was
they
trying
were-
to make it.
No, they actually were too small.
Oh.
So
maybe because he was doing it like
yeah, I also feel like he would have.
Oh, they don't fit. Look.
But apparently they didn't fit, and a lot of people thought this was kind of
That is a bit crazy.
not smart to do for the people like the lawyers saying
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
OJ did do it. Because he tried it on in
And
the
it was
courtroom, so it was direct evidence,
Maybe he could have just put a small glove on purpose for the murder. I don't know. He was like, okay, I'm gonna use a smaller glove. So he thought about that and not about not leaving his foot trail. This is interesting. Okay.
But a reasoning for why the glove maybe didn't fit, is because
Maybe it was washed.
certain gloves shrink when they get wet, and also the gloves had been frozen and defrosted multiple times for preservation.
Oh. Uh-huh.
So-
Yeah, that's sus.
Obviously, like, they wouldn't fit then.
Yeah, I feel- come
why
on.
bring it up then for evidence? That's
Other
not
evidence.
evidence,
Sorry?
but no. But why? Then why try it on if I don't know?
He just wanted to prove, like, oh, they don't fit.
Yeah.
So other evidence that was found was a black beanie with OJ Simpson's hair.
Wait, he had hair.
In some pictures
Where
he
did
did
they
have hair.
find it?
Oh, he did.
Where-
The beanie was, I believe, found at Nicole's residence.
Oh,
But also socks with blood, Nicole's blood, were found on his bed in OJ's estate.
What
yeah,
the
I
hell?
think that is like why would you put it on the bed?
The sock is very odd.
Yeah, but
Extremely odd, in my opinion.
the gloves were also in a very visible
True.
place, or like not visible, but they found
Especially
it.
the one in OJ Simpson's estate.
Why
yeah.
not instantly, if you know that you're gonna be gone in like, because he left after this, why just put it in the washer and just
Yeah.
get it going, and then when you come back,
Well, the thing is,
If it was him.
his limo driver and the guest, Kaylin, they went to the airport with him and they saw that he had a black duffel bag, and they were offering, like, the limo driver was offering, oh, should I get your bag? And he was like, no, I got it. And then another detective had spoken to a witness at the airport who had allegedly seen OJ Simpson with an arm inside a trash container. So it could have been that he got rid of the rest of the evidence, like the knife, the shoes.
the knife was never found.
No. So he could have gotten rid of some of the evidence at the airport, but he did not get rid of all of the evidence.
Yeah, he didn't have time. It's kind of like he just raged out. His rage. He maybe also had this rage.
What
Oh,
is
it
syndrome.
was confirmed, you know.
Oh, he also had that.
He had spousal
Yeah,
abuse
yeah, true. Yeah,
and
yeah.
domestic violence.
So maybe he just had like one moment of being like, okay, I want to murder, and then he realized he needs to also like hide the evidence, but he didn't think it through. That's kind of the
intermediate
A
rage disorder.
mustache, socks, bloody
That's true.
socks on the bed, a blood trail.
no. I'm yes, exactly. But the mustache. So what suggests that he planned it out is that he had a mustache, but like I'm just like he did it out of impulsion, you know,
Yeah.
the murder, and then he just
That
didn't think
would
about
be
it.
The most logical. explanation.
Yeah, because this was not planned very well then.
What's up
No.
with the shoe print?
So a shoe print was also found in OJ's car and on Nicole's dress. And not in the primary court case, but in a civils court case pledging wrongful murder. One of the detectives actually proved that OJ Simpson had worn and owned the shoes, because OJ Simpson previously was like, oh, I don't have the shoes because the shoes were never found.
Oh,
So in a
But-
later court case, it was proved that he did own those very exact shoes that matched the footprint
But wait, were the shoe prints on the car
in the car.
or in the?
I'm also like interested in Ronald. Like, what was up with him? Like, there was
He was
that
a lover.
he was a lover, and then that's why he
Not
was
confirmed,
not
but
confirmed,
a lot
but
of
because they denied.
speculations.
But he was also murdered, of course, and
Yeah, so they were increasingly close, getting increasingly close around the period of the murder.
yeah, jealousy.
And obviously OJ also noticed this. And, you know, Ronald was with Nicole at the time of the murder. Because he had picked up the glasses and retrieved them for Nicole's mom.
Yep.
So if it indeed, which is likely, was a impulsive rage outburst, then yeah, it would be logical that he killed Ronald. But Ronald did not even really. He
Poor
just
guy.
hung out with Nicole, and that's why
Big
he died.
mistake. Big mistake.
Yeah, very big mistake.
Don't hang out with pretty ladies.
I guess that's the main takeaway here.
Yeah, always.
Oh my gosh. No, but that's about all the evidence that was retrieved.
Mm-hmm.
What was the verdict? Oh no.
The verdict. The verdict. The verdict.
But there are things like this, like free OJ.
But wait, look at it, innocent.
Yeah.
And the OJ.
So-
innocent.
Oh my god.
Since those lawyers that OJ hired were like very, very good, they went with the key point of racism. Also framing the detective Mark with the racial slurs and planted evidence. Additionally to that incident occurring 2 years before, which already raised the tensions. This was also hugely in the news, and it really brought a divide. It really divided people of color and white people. As you can also even see, there's an image of someone holding up an innocent sign, and then a white lady saying guilty, which is in the most clear way it depicts how
That's beautiful.
Yeah, but there's a
black dude next to him.
opinions were very divided. A lot of people actually pled not guilty,
Oh.
which
weird.
was eventually the final verdict.
What?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Those are some good lawyers.
So,
Wow.
people of color were cheering and the white people were
Boo.
crying.
Jesus.
And the verdict, quote unquote, was undeniably about race. So, yeah, the verdict was that he was not guilty.
Oh my god.
What are your reactions?
I don't know. I see two things that might have occurred. Yeah, maybe the racism thing.
Definitely.
Like, that's
Or,
why
like-
he was pled not guilty. But yeah,
Or money.
or
yeah.
money. But I don't know. It was either him or somebody framing him. But
What do you think about the detective Mark?
it depends, because I don't know. There's so many evidence that is showing that it is OJ, or it was OJ, that I don't know. Mark was just kind of in the middle. There's just so many things that are showing that it was him. I don't know. I can't unsee that.
That's true. There, if someone would have planted it, it would have been he or she would have had to seriously plan it out very well to get access to his car,
Yeah.
both homes,
Yeah.
and just plant all the evidence like
But
that.
I think
But
it
it
wasn't
isn't
even. But wasn't it like it wasn't planned? As in, like, it might have been his anger.
Yeah, definitely.
But so he didn't really have time to think through. That's why he was all over the place, probably. Was there anything that led people think that Nicole did something with Ronald that made him angry to go to the house? And do you know what I mean? Like, was there any something that made him angry about either their divorce or something that was going on between the two of them that made it?
Well, OJ was already pretty upset about the divorce to begin with, and since
Was she the one who filed?
yeah, she did.
Mm.
She filed for a divorce against OJ.
Is this a beaten up Nicole, or is that
That looks
Yeah,
like
so
someone
that's
no?
one
that's
of those
Nicole.
images that was indeed Nicole, also
Oh.
shown in the court case, which was evidence that OJ already abused her before.
Rage,
Of course, he denied
intermediate
it
rage
again.
disorder,
Intermittent.
or intermittent. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's the
Intermittent
amazing syndrome or intermittent rage
disorder.
disorder. But when he was in the past, when he abused Nicole and he was charged with it, what kind of punishment did he have? Like money, or what did he have to? Did he have to sit in? And
Yeah, I believe he.
just sit for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, Luza?
The final verdict of Louisa and Greta.
Wait.
What
but
will it be? Greta has already
Yeah, I
said that she
I think
definitely
it was
think
OJ.
OJ.
who else? I don't think Mark. Why would he have done it? I don't.
Wait, I have one more
We need
piece
the
of
motive.
evidence.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is even one of the wildest things. In 2006, OJ Simpson wrote a book.
Oh, yes, I know about that. Oh no,
Oh.
What did he write?
it was not me.
What
Or no,
did
what
you
if,
write,
what if
you
it
ask?
was me?
He wrote,
If it was me or something.
if I did it.
If I did it, oh my
A
god.
hypothetical account of the murders of Nicole and Ronald.
Oh my god.
Stupid.
If I did it. Wait, I have to
This
read
is
that
how
book.
I would have
So
done it.
he actually puts forth a hypothetical description of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. And at first it was cancelled due to obvious public outrage, but it was later published with profits going to the Goldman family. But imagine
And after this,
This seems
what-
like a fever dream. Why would you even?
bro is just crazy. And the fact that he wrote it means he put energy in it. Like, he typed it. Energy. And he actually, like, it wasn't just a random announcement he made. He actually wrote a book deliberately and wanted to. He was just a bit cray-cray. They always are. Murderers.
I'm in disbelief.
And
This is
guess
crazy.
what?
I want to read
I
that
heard
book.
about that.
I want to read that.
Guess what? A year later, he's finally in jail.
Because of the book?
Nope. Nope.
Not
Not
the book?
because of the book. Not because of the crime. For armed robbery and kidnapping. Found guilty on all charges. 33 years in prison. And he spent the rest of his life behind bars because he died last year.
Last year, as in.
2024.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
April.
Oh, I think I probably heard of it, but I just didn't.
So he was found guilty of all
Oh
charges
my
for that, but
God.
not
Not Nicole.
for the double murder case.
I'm sorry.
But wait. 33
Good.
years
Maybe
for
they were also-
robbery and kidnapping?
Yeah,
Maybe
and
they were
some
just like...
thinking
additional
about the murder.
charges,
Oh.
but you know,
That's just a
nothing
bit
that
absurd.
nothing to the same level of
I
that insane,
yeah.
graphic, brutally.
That's crazy.
Brutal
Maybe, yeah,
murder.
maybe they took into account the
They're like,
previous.
Let's
add
add a few. Yeah, a few.
But
Oh, wow.
so now having heard
Oh.
the entire case and most of the evidence, all the evidence I know of, what is your final verdict, Greta?
At least he was behind bars. At least at the end.
Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, but that was
I still
like
think it
almost-
was him.
He ruined so many people's lives. I don't know how Nicole's children are now.
Well, those were also
So
his.
not
the
very-
siblings of Nicole, they really tried to create this bubble around the kids, and
Mm.
they removed any type of connection. So any magazines and also the TV, they placed it with video cassette
Aw.
recordings, and they really tried to keep the children out of harm's way, you know, because
Yeah.
The spotlight, yeah.
yeah. And
Okay, that's
yeah.
nice.
so at least the children were kind of taken.
Yeah, protected and okay,
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
impressive. I'm happy
Yeah, but still,
about that. But still, fucking
so-
horrible.
Yeah.
That's tough
So
life.
horrible. I still think it was him. It's just too much evidence.
It's just laughable almost, like the amount of
Yeah.
evidence.
And then
And the DNA
still-
matches as well.
Yeah.
Another one argument that the lawyers used was that besides the contamination, that evidence was also left to overheat in a car. But I feel like that was kind
Yeah.
of just pulling at strings.
And the glove was frozen and then defrosted again. So that
And then
that's
he was like,
also oh, it's too small.
it's small. I'm not Cinderella after all.
It's not on. It doesn't fit. Oh.
Oh, the famous
What a
quote.
shame.
The famous quote. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Which one of the lawyers of OJ Simpson used.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but didn't they talk about
Put
the
some rhyme in
frosting,
there.
defrosting thing?
I'm not sure if it was discussed in a court case, but I feel like it was.
Probably.
But you cannot base a court case solely on a glove not fitting.
Yeah.
Well,
How did he win? Like, how did he...
racism
Yeah, they
and the money. What maybe they
No, I get
they
that,
thought
but-
he
yeah.
was framed and unrightfully
But also the jury.
treated.
I would be interested in the jury, like what kind
I
of
think
people
two
were,
members of the jury pled guilty, and then
and then the others.
like 9 or 8, I believe, said he was not guilty.
Wow.
And they needed 4 hours to
Oh
determine
my
the verdict.
god. That's
But what about the a closed case afterwards? If they say that he was not guilty, did they end up looking for other suspects afterwards, or did they just were they just like, we did our due diligence, bye bye?
Well, there was no additional court case with any other suspect, so I believe the case was
Was
closed. One thing that does kind of put me at ease is that the Nicole's family did receive millions of dollars of compensation after an additional civil rights court case.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say after the book was released.
No, because those Ronald's family actually got those
Oh.
profits.
Yeah, that's
Just Ronald? I
just
thought
not-
it was.
Goldman, just the Goldman family.
Yeah.
I thought it was Nicole.
Does
Brown
Nicole already have
Simpson
the-
and Ron Goldman?
It was mentioned, only the Ronalds were mentioned, but maybe
Oh.
it would be weird if the Nichols family would not.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe,
But maybe they were
okay
like,
with that.
you got enough
Yeah,
millions.
you got that million.
33 million.
33? Okay.
Yep.
But money doesn't
Buy happiness.
buy also and doesn't buy Nicole
Some
back.
life advice right there.
Yeah, that's what a lot of victims.
I always
parents
hate.
are
But what
saying.
Yeah, like
scares
thanks
me-
for the money, but my
That's not
my
gonna
daughter
bring
is
back.
like that.
What scares me the most is
Yeah.
how bloody and graphic the scene was.
I'm actually I
like Nicole was almost
decapitated. I wanna. Is there any pictures of it? I know here's
I
like
did
a.
not want to add it for your sake.
Thank you.
Wait, are
So,
there pictures?
Like
Well,
Uncensored
they
ones.
were partially blurred out, but there was just a lot of blood everywhere.
Oh my god. Okay.
somebody was very mad.
Yeah.
But because
Rage.
imagine, like, just
Hulk.
thinking about it.
I researched this case like during the evening, and
No.
then I had to go to bed, and I was
It's
kind of like. Normally, I'm
Yeah.
not scared, but then I think the decapitating part kind of got to me, and I was like,
Yeah, and then you saw a 200-pound, 6-foot man in your yard. I'm sorry.
yeah. No,
No, you
luckily
didn't.
not.
Okay, good.
Like, if you think about it, there's two ways that people usually kill, either with a gun or with a knife.
Knife.
Gun distances you from the crime, kind of, or the or the person, because you just go pew pew.
Yeah,
and then
it also mentally kind
Yes,
of is
but
less.
it is less. And then if you think about it, they died with knife stabbing, so
Yeah,
somebody was
very
very
brutally.
boom boom boom.
Yeah.
Like somebody was very
But he did
in a
it.
rage.
He did it quite fast as well, because
Mhm.
the dog was reported to have been barking at around 10:15, and OJ was back at his home at 11 p.m. Their homes were 6 minutes away from each other,
Yeah,
so
he was
Uh-huh.
quite.
It was quick, yeah. I'm happy he didn't kill the dog.
yeah, that's also something. Like, the dog must have somehow literally, he was the only eyewitness probably
Oh,
him in the
yeah.
courtroom.
How
being
did
like,
the kids? Wait, when did people realize that something was off? In the morning? Or
Yeah, when
was
the
it-
dog led the neighbors to the crime scene.
So the kids weren't even up, or did the kids see it when they woke up?
That would have been
Imagine.
horrible.
Well, they had to go down the sidewalk, so probably.
No.
I'm not.
I get that, but
I'm
did they
not
wake
sure.
up and see, like, oh?
I'm not
okay.
sure
Hey,
about
Mom.
that.
Oh.
Oh, Louisa!
Yo!
Oh no, that's so sad to think about. But yeah,
I'm not sure because it was quite late.
When they found them, yeah.
AM, so like afternoon.
Yeah.
So
oh.
I really hope the children did not see anything, because I feel like that image would be engraved into your brain.
Of course.
Yeah, I would. Oh my god. Just thinking about it, like my brain already blurs out certain stuff by itself. Luckily.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
Louisa, your final verdict.
I can be creative, guys. He did it.
Yeah,
I
we
think,
both
yeah,
agree.
I can't. It was him because I said
It's the
so.
Mr. Egg.
Mr. Egg.
I thought you said Easter egg.
Mr. Egg, you are guilty.
We came up with. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just who else? Why else? The other suspects.
What also is kind of weird, like the Kalen, the handsome guy,
Yeah.
that he did not in any way involved or anything.
Yeah, because he was. They had the
He was
McDonald's
literally
together,
at
right?
the guest house.
Oh,
and he
oh
also-
yeah. I don't
I
care
hear
who-
3 loud thumbs, but no, nothing's
Nonce.
going on.
It's fine.
Outside of his guest house, he heard 3 loud thumbs at around 10:40 p.m.
And what could that have been?
What I personally imagine was just OJ
Being like,
after raging, be like, ah, you know,
oh
just
yeah,
like
yeah.
thumping 3 times due to the heaviness of
syndrome.
what he had just
Yeah, the rage
committed.
syndrome.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it was a knock.
Yeah, and just like,
Let me in.
FBI. Boom, boom, boom.
yeah, open up.
Yeah.
That was the case.
You also
I think finally a case where it's
Oh.
kind of clear who committed the
who
crime.
committed the crime, but so you
What
also
do you
agree
also
with
think? Yeah.
OJ.
Yeah, I feel like the only thing that kind of makes me suspicious is the way the evidence.
Was planted.
Yeah, well, not planted, but
If it was planted.
it just the way it was found and
Yeah.
the amount makes me suspicious. But then all the evidence, all the incidents leading up to the incident, I mean, and all of the other evidence just makes it too obvious that it must have been him. It had to be.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
That feels satisfying.
it does feel satisfying to point someone out.
Yeah. But maybe we're wrong. Who knows?
This
We shall
case
never
is
know.
hereby closed.
Yeah.
Well,
Bye.
this was Mystery Unsolved. See you
Yes.
guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Wrong camera.
Yeah. No, wait. Isn't it that one?
Bye.
Oh, yeah. You were.